but I'm working together with a company from Europe. It's I Love Fruits and Veg from Europe. So a variety of different things they have. But today we're going to look at eggplant. Yeah. Eggplant traditionally growing in the southern parts of Europe, but they get some fantastic products. So as you can see here, other products as well, but we're focusing on this today. So the recipe I'm going to make is called rollatini. Yeah, eggplant rollatini. So I guess you can kind of guess it's going to be a roll of some kind, right? So, make sure my recipe is. All right. So first of all, we have eggplant. Yeah. Find some nice firm ones, relatively fresh, and you want them relatively fat on the bottom. You don't want the long, skinny ones. Yeah. These ones are perfect. Yeah. Now there's two ways to do it. Yeah. Mandolin, knife, depends on the level of your experience. But I kind of like the mandolin because you get all even thicknesses. Yeah, it's a bit tricky when you're doing it with a knife. You have to be quite good, at it. And eggplant can be kind of firm in the center, right? So very carefully. Yeah, I'm just going to trim it. Corner, right there. Yeah, just so it slides a bit easier, like that. So just sliding it very carefully and slowly. When you get down towards the end, sometimes it'll break off. So right down that last few inch or centimeter, just very carefully push it. You can go quickly, but the last little bit, just kind of wiggle it back and forth, and it'll slice through all the way. So very carefully, and also be very careful because these mandolins are extremely sharp. Yeah. There's a little pusher as well you can use. I'm not going to use it because I'm not going to go all the way. I'm not going to slice this all the way. Yeah. So as you can see, as I slice them, they all look nice and even. Yeah. So that's what you want. There's a couple of reasons why. We're going to put some salt on it to soften it up a bit. Then we're going to put them in the oven to bake them, makes them even a little bit softer as well. And it makes it a little bit easier to roll up because if you can see here, they're not easy to roll up. So this is a little bit tricky. So there are ways to do that. Yeah. So I've sliced a few up. I'm going to put that aside. Yeah. Now, what you're going to do is lay them out on a plate or a baking tray, and you're going to put some salt on it. I'll just give an example here. Lay them down like this, flat. Just get some ordinary table salt. Give it a sprinkle, like that. Flip them over, and salt them again. Don't worry about not putting too much. Yeah, I mean, put generous amounts on the top. Now, the reason why we do this is because eggplant typically has a lot of water content. So what the salt is going to do is it's going to pull out that extra moisture. Yeah. So I'm going to put this on the side. Now I've done some a little bit earlier because it takes probably a good 10 minutes to do. Now, if you look here, you can see that. Look at the water that comes out. Yeah. You can see that a lot of moisture has come out from the top. Yeah. Now here, what we want to do is to get a paper towel. We're going to get a paper towel and just wipe these off. Put them on another baking sheet. See that now they're nice and dry, yeah? And look at the difference, yeah? Look at the difference between the one I just sliced and the ones that have soaked for a little while. Big difference. It's already quite soft. Can easily be manipulated. Big difference. Now we're going to dry them out further, so they're a little bit easier to roll. Because even now, they're quite slimy, I guess, for lack of a better word. Yeah, so we're just going to kind of dry them out a bit. and just to make them a little bit easier to roll up. So put that aside. Wipe up this extra moisture here. The next thing we're going to be doing is the filling. All right. So the filling, what we have is we have some ricotta cheese. We have a bit of Parmesan with some minced garlic, an egg, and some chopped basil. Yeah, so this is fresh basil. I prefer fresh basil because, man, when you put it in the oven, you can that smell just permeates the house. You know, it's fantastic. It's a great smell. The dry just doesn't cut it. You know, sorry. The garlic, make sure it's finely minced. You know, if it's a bit chunky, it can be a bit strong and powerful. You know, if somebody bites into it. If you're a garlic lover, okay, fine, no problem. Even you can just do really thin slices as well and put it in. The ricotta cheese that I found in the local grocery store, was a little bit dry. So I had to basically take it out of the container. I had to break it up into smaller pieces. Yeah, so it's just nice and crumbly like that. So usually I'm used to ricotta that's a little bit more, a little bit soft, a bit softer. But that's fine. So there you go. Yeah, it's nice and crumbly. Yeah, no problem. We have some egg that's going to bind anyway. Yeah, so we have 300 grams approximately of ricotta cheese. Now this here was, if it's packed into a dish, it's about the equivalent of 1 cup, which is close. It was almost 300 grams. But once I broke it up, it's almost double the volume, just because it's all in chunks. So okay, so Parmesan cheese. Yeah, I have about quarter cup here, a little over quarter cup. It's closer to half a cup. So I'm going to add all of that. I'm going to add my garlic. I don't mind garlic as well. Plenty of garlic. Just give that a bit of a stir. Take my fresh basil, dump that in as well. I just took maybe about 8 to 10 leaves. All depends, I guess, how big your basil leaves are. Mine were a little bit on the small side, but again, you can put more. It's a wonderful flavor, even on its own. Egg. Normal recipe calls for 1 egg, but I have a 1.5. Reason being is because the ricotta was a little bit on the dry side, a little bit on the crumbly side, so I put in a half an egg more. So I held back a little bit because I'm just going to see. I just want it to come together, so it's a nice semi-sticky mixture. Yeah, I don't want it to be totally fluid. It has to be a little bit crumbly as well. Okay, so just by looking at it, holds together a little bit, which is perfect. Yeah, I will add a little bit more egg, not quite all of it, just so it binds together nicely. There we go. Bit strong on the garlic, but that's okay. So also, I'm going to add a little bit of salt, a little bit of seasoning. Yeah, so some coarse sea salt, a little bit of pepper. Stir that in. Yeah. There we go. Good. So, as you can see there, it's still a little bit crumbly, but if you squeeze it together, it'll bind by itself. Yeah. All right. So now we're going to start rolling. Now I had. I'm gonna wear gloves for this. A little bit messy. Now I had already pre-baked some eggplant slices. As I said, when you salt them, salt the slices to get the water out, some of the moisture out. It takes a good 10 minutes. Don't be patient with it. Let it draw all that moisture out. Pat dry them, put them in the oven. Don't put any more salt on. Just put them on a small cookie sheet or a baking sheet. Lightly oil it. I prefer olive oil. Yeah. Lightly oil it. Lay them out. Pat dry them. Make sure they're nice and dry. Put them out and put them in for about 7 to 8 minutes. Yeah. So once they come out, you'll see that they're very flimsy now. So this is perfect. Yeah. So I'm gonna put this out. Start with the fat part of the eggplant on the bottom. Take a bit of the mixture, probably about 2 tablespoons worth. Yeah. So about 30 grams if you want to use grams. Leave a little gap at the bottom, where the fat part is, so that you can fold it over first, and then very gently, roll it up. Yeah, just like that, and there you go. That's number one. All right. So prepare your baking dish. So I got one of these casseroles, glass casseroles, perfect for the job. And some tomato puree, tomato sauce. I mixed a little bit of tomato paste in with this as well, so it'll give it a super nice, rich tomatoey flavor. So what you want to do is you want to put in a couple of ladles into the bottom. This is a small ladle, a 50 mil ladle. So basically, what I'm putting them in the bottom here is probably about 120 grams. So probably looking at close to a half a cup. Maybe a touch more. Yeah. Are we going to take that? Yep. Put that on the side. Put here next to me. All right, another one. I'm going to use all the big ones first. Portion it out nicely. Yeah. Tried to cover all of it, spread it out, leaving a little gap at the bottom like I did before. Yeah, fold that over, then gently roll it up. Yeah, you don't want to try and make it super tight. It won't matter. It's got a bit of egg in there, so once that takes hold, once it bakes in the oven, that egg will basically bind it all together. There we go. Just pat it down a little bit so it's nice and firm. Roll it up. There we go. And just keep doing that until it's all done. So usually, there's half dish here. I'll probably get about 12 or 14. It depends on how much filling I have here. I think I have 14 slices in total. So just continue until it's all used up. I think I have enough here for the whole dish for sure. This is why I like to wear gloves, especially when it's messy like this. Almost done. Did we have any questions yet online?
Yes, yes.
We have?
Question here. Why do you salt the eggplant?
Why do I salt the eggplant?
Yes.
Oh, yes, yes. I mentioned earlier, but yeah, salting the eggplant is very important. Like I said, um, eggplant has a high water content, like many vegetables, fruits as well. So by adding salt, and let it sit for a while, it'll pull out that moisture. And I showed earlier when I did that, I tipped the plate, and you can see all the water kind of run onto the table here. So by salting it, you get rid of some of the moisture, which is important if you want to try and roll this up. And you add the moisture back anyway when you bake it. We have some tomato sauce, we have some cheese, etc., etc. So we're baking all that together. Okay, I am pretty much done there. Any other questions?
What is the easiest way to slice? Knife or cutlery?
You can do either or. If you're relatively skilled at using a knife, you can use that. Make sure it's sharp and be very, very careful because you can put it on the table. Like I said, trim it on the side like I did so it's nice and flat. It doesn't roll around on you. And then just very carefully slice it, bit by bit, checking to make sure that it's nice and even. Mandolin also okay. It's very sharp also, so be very careful. But mandolin is better because then you get even slices. It's all the same. So I fit 2, 4, 6, 8, and 12. So now you're going to ladle on some more tomato sauce. Probably close to 60, 40, probably about 1 cup worth. Yeah. So you can see there, it's almost totally covered. All of your eggplant. Yeah. You don't want to see too much exposure because once you put it in the oven, it's going to dry. Now I'm going to give it some cheese first. Is what I'm going to do. Yeah. So some shredded mozzarella cheese. This is not the. This is cow's mozzarella. This is not buffalo mozzarella. Plenty of cheese. There we go. Voila. And some more parmesan. There you go. And olive oil first, and then I'll put a bit of seasoning. So olive oil. Love the taste of olive oil. It's fantastic. And my other batch is ready. I put one in the oven earlier. Some seasoning. There we go. Touch more pepper. Yeah. Now, you're going to put that in the oven, covered. Just if you have a casserole dish, it has a cover that comes with it, heat-proof cover. If not, aluminum foil as well. Yeah, just cover that. Put that in the oven at about 190 or 200 degrees, 200 degrees in a regular oven, like a home style oven, conventional oven, for about 30 minutes, 25 to 30 minutes. Remove that and put it in for another 10 minutes. Turn the grill on the top, so be very careful. Watch it though. But turn the grill on so you get some nice burning, a little bit burning on the top there on the cheese, and it'll look fantastic and ready to serve. So I'm going to pop this into the oven here. And take out the one that just finished. And can you hand me that plate, please? I'm going to serve up a couple of wonderful rollatinis. So that's pretty much it. Is there any more questions? Did we get more questions?
Yes. Should they peel the eggplant before?
Good question. Peel the eggplant. Even though the skin is a little bit tough, and depending on how you bake it, it can be a bit leathery. But no, you don't need to. It's completely edible. It's not a problem. Look at that. That's fantastic. No, no need to. There's no need to peel it. Just make sure it's washed, cleaned properly, and you can slice away. So these are super delicate, as you can see. Nice and cheesy as well. This is a little bit big. I got a smaller one. Pastry chefs have a lot of tools. So there we go. I'm going to put a little bit of fresh basil on the top. Just put this on the side. And a little bit of fresh pepper. A bit more olive oil. It's never such thing as too much olive oil. It has a wonderful flavor, fantastic, and has good food value. Much better than some of the other oils out there. But very simple dessert, very simple meal, and it tastes fantastic, and it's healthy. Yeah. Any other questions?
Last question.
Oh.
Is this recipe gluten-free?
Gluten-free, yeah, totally gluten-free. We didn't use any flour in whatsoever, any other types of grains, etc. But no, totally gluten-free and easy to make, as you can see. Thank you, everyone. Have a wonderful day, and I love fruits from Europe.